Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Grapplers Academy. Today we're going to be looking at one of the most elusive and misunderstood aspects of wrestling and the stand-up game, and discussing the concepts of backstepping in wrestling in order to set up some attacks and throws.
Yeah, so like a lot of the time, wrestling, you're kind of going in, forward, pushing that pressure and putting the attack on, but sometimes that backstep will help and create the opportunity to get in and under the hips, get around in for certain attacks, or even create the attack that you want to go for. So the example I'll probably use today would be from the collar tie and even from the front headlock position while standing. And this is going to sort of expand that knowledge on where the backstep comes in and plays into this. So usually with a backstep, my basic understanding of it is using it from the collar tie. Now, if I'm trying to break Bond's posture and I'm just using my arms here, I'm not going to do much and I'm not going to move his feet. So the way that we can sort of strengthen this movement here is using that back step while we're using the collar tie. So if I'm just here trying to pull and pull and pull, I'm not going to really move Bond. So I'm going to make sure that my elbow and my sort of hip have like a piece of like invisible string, and I'm not going to increase that gap between them. So really, to create the opportunity for Bond to move, is I'm going to have to make sure my collar ties and my tie-ups are nice and tight. I'm going to take a back step and pull Bond forward. As you can see, that breaks his posture down and it creates opportunities where he's either going to pop up with his posture, and I can then go in for my penetration step to enter into the hips, or while his posture is still broken, I can pass over and get to this front headlock positioning, and then I can even further my back step here to break his posture down even more by running backwards and getting that posture down. So
we talked about that concept in the video where we looked at a snap down and looked at how to drag further down to the mat, so if you want some more details on that, go and check that out. Another concept that this works well with, which I think Simon's going to go in and talk about in a little bit more detail there, is using your opponent's force against them. So if you can get a bit of a push-pull reaction at first, where we're here and I'm giving Si a bit of energy this way where he wants to start pushing back in, and then when I feel the pressure coming back in my direction, I time that with my back step. I get the reaction of him falling down into the weight of his own energy coming forward. And we can also tie that in with a back step and a redirection of energy as well if you want to hit that snap down. So we're pushing in with good energy going forward, I wait for that reaction, I snap down, and then we're immediately round in on the back and using that misdirection of energy to our advantage.
Which also ties into one of the subjects we talked about in last week's episode of the podcast, where we talked about motion, and we're saying not sort of just going in and out. As you can see, Bond circled off for his opportunity. It's the same again for using that back step and tying it in, where we're not always just going to sort of travel backwards as we're going for this. We can also then start to circle round, travel backwards, throw things in, or if I'm wanting his back leg forward, we're going to not just going to sort of step in forward like this, we're also going to sort of add a little bit of that back step in with that motion to bring that leg round, and we can start to enter in and look for the single leg or other opportunities to attack on that.
A lot of these setups, like you were saying at the beginning, aren't just arm mechanics. You know, we're not arm wrestlers. This isn't going to be strong enough to do anything. We need to get our whole body in tight, lock our lats and core, and use our body weight to drag down on our opponent. Our body weight, if you were a similarly matched opponent, unless there's a massive weight disparity, all of your body weight versus their upper body, posture, neck, you're going to win every time.
Yeah, definitely.
We're done there. Go and check out last week's video where we discussed. That's what put him off. If you think about last week's video, we were talking about double penetration, double leg penetration, and we're going to be discussing in more detail the topics that we're talking about on the podcast, which are the 7 key principles of wrestling. So if you want to keep up to date, go and check out the discussion that we did last week on that, which was part 1, and we're going to be having part 2 coming soon as well.
Got Bonafide PT, I'm coached by Si with the Grapplers Academy. See you next week.